The term wellness is one of the foremost frequently used buzzwords in health and fitness lately. Wellness describes the general health of the mind and body that end in an optimum sense of well-being. Dunn. Dr. Halbert Dunn first introduced the term within the 1950s. In his book, High-Level Wellness, Dr. Dunn defined the state of wellness as a method of functioning, which is oriented toward maximizing one's ability to function in their environment. He summed this up by simply stating that it's the mixture of things that give us a zest for life. Over the past years, as the cost of healthcare has skyrocketed and the population is aging, the concept of wellness has spread across the country. Dr. Dunn's concept of wellness has grounded within the belief that each one individual takes responsibility for his or her own health and well-being by properly maintaining their personal fitness, weight, stress level, then on. Dunn. Although there are many dimensions of wellness, the one which will be discussed during this article is weight management, body composition. In parts 2 and 3, we'll address fitness and stress management. Weight management. The negative health implication of leading a lifestyle that creates one becomes overweight has been well documented. Unfortunately, it is often difficult for several dieters to work out exactly what methodology to use with such a lot of conflicting information and marketing hype controlling the load-loss dialogue. Naturally, most are trying to find a straightforward answer. Therefore, people became sitting ducks for the reducing diet and diet product industry. The necessity for honest, practical information regarding diet and exercise becomes painfully evident when analyzing the diet and weight loss industry's diary. The industry is currently a multi-billion-dollar business that influences the behaviors of consumers around the world. Yoke et al. Yet the industry as entire features a 5-year failure rate of roughly 95%. Yoke et al. Rock bottom line is fad diets and weight loss gimmicks don't beat the end of the day. Kosich. Although many of the commercial diet plans are effective at helping people reduce during the primary few weeks, research suggests that only about 3% of people who use fad, in fact, most of the participants actually weighed quite they did at the start of their program within 12 months of completing the program. The fact is, there are not any miracle pills, shakes, or diet plans which will make people magically reduce. Weight loss is accomplished just by consistently creating a moderate deficit between the calories consumed versus the calories employed by the body. In other words, eat slightly fewer calories than your body uses during a day. This needs a lifestyle change. Not a quick fix program. Clark. The word diet are some things to avoid. A diet program is usually related to something that's getting to be temporary and can restrict certain sorts of foods. This sort of plan nearly always fails over the end of the day. Kosich. Establishing healthier nutritional habits are the merchandise of creating the commitment to vary. Improving your food choices and controlling portion sizes are the two fundamental changes that require to be addressed. Nobody eats an ideal diet 100% of the time. It is not necessary or desirable for you to expect that your daily hotel plan is going to be perfect either. There should be some flexibility to permit yourself to enjoy eating at restaurants or attend parties. With a touch of designing, it's possible to urge a meal that will be both satisfying and nutritious. Weight loss planning. 1. Establish a sensible goal. 2. Set a time frame for reaching the goal. 3. Plan a wise diet consistent with the food guide pyramid or enlist the assistance of a registered dietitian. 4. Learn to switch your food buying habits and learn to cook and prepare healthier dishes. 5. Increase your physical activity. 6. Learn to handle stress without using food as a gift. 7. Avoid restrictive diets. Lowering your calories too far isn't only unhealthy, it's also counterproductive. Ultra-low-calorie diets hamper your BMR metabolic rate. 8. Change your attitudes about food. Food is fuel, and its true purpose is to satisfy the nutritional requirements of the body. Klein, Clark. Nutrient fundamentals. There are 6 essential nutrients that support our body's energy needs and support the expansion and repair of tissues: carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, water. Clark. Failing to satisfy the essential nutritional requirements will ultimately have a profound impact on one's physical and mental capabilities. Inadequate nutrition also increases our risk of a spread of illnesses. All living organisms need quality nutrition to grow and perform properly. Beers, et al. Carbohydrates are the body's primary source of energy. There are two main sorts of carbohydrates: simple sugars, fruits, juice, sucrose, etc., and sophisticated carbohydrates, yams, potatoes, bread, and pasta. Carbohydrates contain 4 calories per gram and will account for about 60% of your daily calories. Clark. Protein is employed by the body to market the expansion and repair of tissues. Low-fat protein sources include grilled chicken, broiled white fish, egg whites, roasted turkey breast, and beans. Protein also has 4 calories per gram and will account for about 15% of your daily calories. Clark. Fats are liable for energy production, especially future energy, transportation of fat-soluble vitamins, insulation, and protection of the organs. Fats have 9 calories per gram and it's recommended that 20 to 30% of your daily calories come from fats. Clark, Beers, et al. It is desirable to attenuate fats that are high in cholesterol, like whole eggs, bacon, and milk products. Additionally, hydrogenated oils, trans fatty acids, should be avoided. Klein. Trans fatty acids are found in many commercial spreads, food, and margarine spreads. Water doesn't contain any calories but is possibly the foremost important nutrient in our diet. The body consists of roughly 60% water. Beckel. An individual can only survive for a brief time without water. Water keeps us hydrated, cools the body, transports nutrients, and eliminates toxins. Beers, et al., Yoke et al. We get our supply of water from both liquids and lots of the foods that we eat, primarily fruits and vegetables. The body doesn't store water, therefore, it must get replaced daily. It's recommended that a sedentary adult living in a mean climate consume about 64 ounces of water every day. Obviously, if you're active and/or sleep in a warm climate, you'll get to consume more. Furthermore, it's recommended that individuals participating in the vigorous, future exercise, like marathon training, consume about 500 milliliters of fluids every 30 minutes during their exercise period. Beckel. Better choices. In my book, The Perfect Initiative Toward Making Better Choices would start with the subsequent 5 dietary adjustments. 1. Avoid nutriment. 2. Don't eat slot machine food, candy, chips and sodas. 3. Grill, bake or broil rather than frying. 4. Drink calorie-free drinks rather than sodas and juices. 5. Avoid alcoholic beverages. If you'll exercise these 5 points, you'll be on your thanks to making outstanding food choices. Rather than stepping into an excellent deal of technical information about food choices, I feel it's more useful to specialize in the fundamentals. For instance, here is the nutritional breakdown for a well-liked, large-sized, Nutriment burger. 1060 calorie. 69 grams of fat. 1540 milligrams. Sodium. 27 grams of saturated fat. Above statistics. Sad face, Johnson et al. 1060 calories is nearly an entire day's calories for several people. Additionally, 1540 milligrams of sodium is approximately 65% of your daily sodium intake. Yoke et al. Needless to mention, it might be far better to form a chicken or turkey sandwich from fresh ingredients reception and pack it with you to figure. That way, you'll control how it's prepared and what sort of condiments, salt, or oils are added. Sugar is the most over-consumed nutrient within the American diet. Although the body does require small amounts of straightforward sugar for quick energy, it's developed a deserved reputation together of the bad-for-you foods. This is often thanks to the huge consumption of sodas, candies, desserts, and juice drinks. The typical American gets much more sugar than they have. Klein. In fact, many of us could reach their ideal weight just by decreasing the number of sodas that they consume. The typical 20 ounces soda features a whopping 304 calories, additionally to varying amounts of caffeine. Johnson et al. Serving size. One's ability to successfully modify their past eating habits is the single greatest predictor of success during a weight loss, weight management program. Kosich. Among the foremost important changes which will be made is the proper control of your portion sizes. Since the 1950s, the standard nutriment meal has quite doubled in calories, Johnson et al. This is often mainly thanks to the larger portion sizes that are being served today. Unfortunately, this has led people to adopt the restaurant's samples of serving size at their dining table reception. This mix is quite likely the foremost significant thing about the obesity epidemic that we are experiencing in our country. I find it humorous to ascertain numerous people within the media questioning the source of obesity as if it's such a mystery. I do not think that it's difficult to ascertain the pattern that has developed in our society. People became progressively less active over the past 100 years while continuing to extend the typical daily calorie intake. That's definitely a formula for becoming overweight. Below may be a simple guideline for serving sizes. Bread and grains, 1 slice of bread, 1/2 bagel, about the dimensions of a hockey puck, 1/2 cup of rice, about the dimensions of a cupcake, 1/2 cup pasta. Fruits and vegetables, 1/2 cup, about the dimensions of a lightweight bulb. Meat, poultry, 3 ounces, about the dimensions of a deck of cards. Dairy, 1 ounce, of cheese, about the dimensions of 4 dice. Fats, oils, sweets, use sparingly, 1 serving is about the dimensions of the tip of your thumb. NHLBI 2006, Food Serving Size Card. Another source of concern with regards to application size is the current food labeling system. Food labels are often confusing and misleading. But it's in your best interest to form sure that you simply understand what proportion is during a serving of the foods that you buy. Many products, especially snack foods, are available packages that appear to be 1 serving. However, once you analyze the label, you'll be surprised to seek out that some small bags of chips contain up to 3 servings. So confirm to read labels. Food labels contain such a lot of information. How can we know what they really mean? Below are some common label terms. Confine mind that each one values given are per serving. Calorie-free, fewer than 5 calories. Low-calorie, 40 or fewer calories. Fat-free, but 1/2 gram of fat, serving. Low-fat, 3 grams or less. Reduced fat, a minimum of 25% less fat than the regular item. Sodium-free, fewer than 5 milligrams of sodium. Low sodium, fewer than 140 milligrams of sodium. High fiber, 5 or more grams of fiber. NHLBI, read the food label, Klein. Remember, safe and effective weight loss amounts to about 1/2 2 pounds per week for many individuals. If you're losing quite that, likelihood is that you're also losing a big amount of water and muscle also, Kosic. Using a scale as your primary measure of success is often very deceiving. This is often very true if you're including resistance exercise in your program, which can cause a gain in lean muscular weight. Exercise and strength training will quite likely influence the amount that you simply see on your scale. Perhaps the simplest measure of your success is that the way you look within the mirror or the way that your clothes fit, Kosic. As a rule of thumb, you ought to weigh down the size no quite once per week. Your scale can't tell muscle mass from fat-free mass, and BMI charts aren't very useful at determining changes in body composition. So, confine mind that inches lost will usually exceed pounds lost, Kosic. When you do check your weight every 1 to 2 weeks, confirm to weigh down an equivalent scale, with an equivalent amount of clothing, and at an equivalent time of day. This may ensure a more accurate comparison. It's going to even be useful to stay a journal that contains more detailed information, like how you are feeling, how your clothes are fitting, physical activity, and the way you look. As mentioned earlier, your ability to switch your past habits is going to be the best predictor of your potential for fulfillment during a weight loss program. Planning menus, shopping lists, and keeping a written account of your food intake are a couple of the foremost valuable behavior changes that you simply can learn. Research has shown that folks who keep written records of their diets are far more likely to still manage their diets successfully, Kosic. Always remain mindful that the formula for weight loss is simple: all calories consumed in more than the body's daily needs are stored as fat. Weight loss is all about consistently creating a modest calorie deficit, where you burn more calories than you consume, Clark. The last word goal is fat loss, not just weight loss. So take the steady, methodical approach rather than the diet fads and schemes, and you'll reap lifelong benefits.